everyone, my name is Emily Teague. I'm a portrait and fashion photographer based in New York. Today, we're jumping back into talking about lighting, and specifically minimal lighting on location. So no strobes or large modifiers today. All I'm going to be using is a 10-inch or 25cm PavoTube 6C from NanLite. This is a light that's under $100, it's small and lightweight, so I'm hoping this might feel a little more accessible to viewers out there that don't have access to a lot of lighting gear, and hopefully this video also gives you some ideas or inspiration for ways that you can play with what you have and create beautiful light. For those of you who regularly watch my videos with Adorama, you might recognize my model. Today we have none other than Brandi Nicole, who is my roommate, best friend, and also a very talented photographer herself. So let's dive in. Okay, so we're here in this kind of grungy alley, and I have Brandi right here with a lot of neutral colors around her. And so I'm gonna take a test shot first just to see how the lighting is looking without any artificial light. My settings are at 1/160th for my shutter. My aperture is at 1.4, and my ISO is at 160. So let's take a test shot. Great, and so it's not in a bad place. I still love that we kind of have this highlight on the back of her hair, but her face doesn't have a lot of light in it. So let's bring in our little PavoTube, and because I lost my assistant today, I have a C-stand that costs more than this light, so a little ridiculous, but let's bring this in. And so I'm looking at Brandi's face, everything's looking really nice. I still have some shadow on this side. I have my light raised just above her head, so I'm still gonna get that catch light kind of to the left of her eye, about 11 o'clock. So let's take another shot. And already looking a lot better. I'm gonna play around a little bit with this and just move it slightly over here. So I moved to a slightly different look. Instead of having the light directly in front of her and having her face pretty evenly lit, except for that light shadow, I've moved it a bit more to the side. So this is gonna do a couple things. One, the shadow on this side is gonna be even darker. And then if she has her face kind of, Brandi, come with my hand, right there, you can see this is all gonna be nice and shadowed, but we have this side kind of lit up. So it's a little bit of a silhouette kind of effect. And then we can also play around with this. So Brandi, follow my hand right there. And so there, now we're getting kind of more of a Rembrandt where we have a little bit of light right under her eye. So let's play around with this and see what kind of shots we can get. Beautiful, and I love that our background is really dark. There's a lot of nice contrast within her coat here, and her chest is evenly lit too. We're not getting many shadows from her hair, which I was a little worried about. So why don't we try moving the light even more to the side and really just having this kind of silhouette effect. My eye light is right above eye level, so if her eyes are right here, you can see this is kind of right where the light starts. I have it tilted down too, and so you can see on her collarbone, if you turn this way just a little bit, right, oh, a little bit back, right there. Her collarbone's still lit, but there's a little bit of a shadow underneath it, which I find really flattering. And I ended up taking my aperture, and instead of 1.4, I actually raised it to 1.8. And this is just bringing a little bit more darkness in, and that way I'm not gonna have like her hand be blurry if her face is in focus, just so it's all within the same plane. So let's try some more shots. So something that I'm noticing, I think this light is really dramatic and beautiful. So this is short lighting where most of this side is shadowed, and I have just the light coming in on this side, which is giving her kind of a nice little halo as well. I am noticing even at 1.8, I'm still getting this side of her face out of focus. So I'm gonna raise my aperture a bit more. Why don't we try 2.2? And then I'm not gonna touch my shutter because I don't wanna go lower than 1/160th. So I'm gonna take my ISO and go up to 250 and try that. And that's looking really nice. And now I have just a little bit more in focus here. I could go up higher, but I think we'll start right there. For this next look, I asked Brandi if she would sit, and she has her leg kind of extended in this really flattering way. And so we're still getting lots of nice shadow on this side, that highlight kind of straight down her middle. I ended up raising this about 2 feet above her versus before it was kind of closer to eye level, just a little bit above. And because I have my shutter speed at 1/160, all my settings, I'm still getting a lot of ambient light that's coming in as well. And something else to note, my Kelvin on this is currently at 4,300, but I'll probably warm that up a little bit later just in post as well, because I do prefer a warmer look. So let's try a shot both with this light and without it. And keeping your head up towards the light, beautiful. And so as Brandi's moving, I'm just watching as that light changes on her face. So if she faces more this way, you can see I start kind of getting more shadow. And if she turns it over here, a little bit back, I kind of get that nice little Rembrandt where I have the highlight under her eye, which I love personally. So let's try a shot with this turned off. And so just comparing, I think with my light turned on, there's a lot more warmth. It looks natural and it's kind of, the light is flowing all over versus without. And I'm just getting these kind of muddier shadows. There's not as much life in her face. So definitely prefer with. Okay, and I think that's good for here. Let's move to another location and see what else we can do. Okay, so trying another location, I've moved Brandi into this little corner here where it's very nice and dark. And for this, instead of having the light directly to her side or right in front of her, I've raised it completely above her. But if you see, Brandi's face is right here, and this still comes just a little bit out, a little bit over her. So we should get some nice light on top of her hair, but also a little bit lighting up her face as well. So let's take a test shot with it off. Beautiful, and it looks fine as is, but again, let's see how it looks with it on. And we'll try again. And face just a little bit up. And so this one, you can see a pretty massive difference. It's giving it a much richer, kind of more editorial look. It looks like there's this beautiful warm light coming from above that I love. And I'm just going back and forth and comparing. And especially on her hair, you can see it really lights it up. It lights up all these curls beautifully. I love that her face is still tilted up. And so we're getting this nice line down her nose. And we're still getting that nice shadow that I wanted beneath her jawline that I pretty much love in all of my images. So why don't we try a few more shots here? Okay, so super happy with this lighting setup directly above her. I also love that our light is reflecting a little bit off of this wall and a little bit off this wall, just kind of adding to that cinematic, angelic look that we were going for apparently. So why don't we try one more lighting scenario in a different location and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so for our last look, I am completely silhouetting Brandi. I have my PavoTube directly behind her. So I'm gonna have her hair really nice and lit up. Again, we're sticking with this kind of like vintage angelic vibe. So we'll have also this side of her is going to be lit up. And for my settings, I had to lower my shutter speed. I'm now at 1/125th. I took my aperture back down to 1.4 to let in some more light. Lots of sounds around here. And my ISO, I raised up to 1000, which is normally the point I don't like to go over 1000, but for this kind of setting where I still want to get some light on her face and still have a little bit of light, I think it's gonna be good. So let's get a few shots. So as far as only having one light to silhouette, I'm actually really happy with these. I love the warmth that is creating in her hair. I love that you can see this line of her face. And I love that even though there's no light on this side, we still have enough ambient light coming in where she's not gonna be completely black. I still have some details and you can see her eye, you can see her cheekbone. There's still a little bit of light lighting up her cheekbone and a little bit of shadow right underneath it, which I love. Brandi's expression looks great, so I'm super happy. And that's all for today. I hope this video gave you some ideas for ways to play around and experiment. If it did, let me know in the comments below. And as always, let me know if there are any topics within photography that you would be interested in me covering, and I'll see you all next time.